You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show.
The animal is trapped till the cage is full. The cage is full, the day is new, and everyone is waiting on you, and you got time.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the 6th episode of Netflix original series, Orange is the New Black. Episode entitled, You Also Have a Pizza. I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and joining me today is...
Hey guys, it's Emma K.
What up? It's me, Megan Thomas. Hey.
Hey guys, hey, it's Scott Moore.
those are like the cheeriest of intros themselves. That's so funny. Okay, so this week, Piper's investigating. We get to see Pusey's backstory finally.
Yeah.
And we see V's sinister plot come to fruition as well. So, let's talk about Pipes for a hot second. Since she's the center POV of the show or whatever.
Emma, can you unplug your mic and plug it back in for me, please?
Yeah, hook that up, Emma. Here, let me help you out. Yeah, you know.
Well, I was going to say, should we take our notes? Should we tell our notes from last episode that we accidentally told a few people?
No.
No, it's okay.
No.
I hate when I do that, though.
Get your life together, then is all I can say. Now, here's the thing about this episode. I don't understand why it was called... Well, I do understand why it was called You Also Have a Pizza, but I think but I feel like it should have been called something else.
You also have a pizza.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, I get it, because that's what Maritza says, I believe, about, love or whatever, you also have a pizza, whatever. But I'm saying, I feel like it should have been called something else.
It should have been called something else.
Right, it didn't have enough to do with...
It didn't have enough to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. No. That wasn't good enough.
When I see the title, I want to know that this is the Valentine's episode.
Right.
And they should have called it Valentine's with an M.
Yeah, I agree. They should. That's what you're right. They should have said Valentine's Day or something. Yeah.
Everyone hates Valentine's.
Yeah, that would have had more to do with what the episode was about.
Right.
What did you think with the kind of like breaking that fourth wall on the camera, like asking him the questions in sort of that documentary style? What did you think of that?
I thought that was really great, honestly, because these people have feelings and emotion, and I think that's part of getting us to know that just because they're inmates doesn't mean they don't have like feelings and they're not real people and they can't be loved. And like love is like a major force, obviously, in our universe, and everybody's looking for love and receives love, and it's like, these people are capable of receiving love, and somebody loves these people that are locked up. They got family, they have people that love them, and they have people that they love as well. Right. So they're not just dots on the chalkboard.
And I feel like everybody's definition of what love was so true to their character.
Yeah.
So true to their character. I think, I like Bennett's. He was like, why are you asking me about love? Wait, what? What's going on? Wait. No. And then
I know, it's great. It's like, you shouldn't be asking me that. And I was like,
is this a setup?
Yeah, and I'm like, but I want to know who's asking the questions. Like, because again, it was kind of breaking the wall. I'm like, what is going on there? And they're asking everybody who's doing this and why. And
a little talking head action. It was cool.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very different, and I liked it.
I think it's just transparency and their true character coming out. So that's all it was. I don't think it was anything out of the ordinary. It was just them expressing who they really are.
Who was asking about that?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, to me, I thought it was Piper.
Because of her article?
For the newsletter.
And she was going around doing a fake investigation because it was Valentine's Day, but you saw her on the side of the party and she was like asking like whatever happened to that money for blah blah blah.
Those other ladies.
So he was like so that was like the cover story underneath the real, on top of the real investigation, and that's why everybody was getting their chance. And then at the end, she's the one that gave hers because somebody flipped it on her and was like, "Well, Piper, like what is love?"
It was Crazy Eyes, right? That asked Piper.
I don't think they showed who asked her.
No, I heard the voice. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was Suzanne that asked. Because I think that was the time when I was like, who's asked? Like, I kept going, who's asking these questions?
Exactly.
And then when I realized, but then I feel like I heard Crazy Eyes' voice when she was asking Piper. So I was like, oh, well, maybe she's asking Piper because Piper's the one asking everybody
else.
So somebody needed to ask Piper.
Sense.
I just like the way they set that whole thing up, especially at the very beginning too, when you had no idea what was going on. You're like, wow, this is different.
I would have liked to see it been extended to a couple more people, like Caputo and Healy and.
Well, we know Fisher means love to Caputo.
Right.
So let's talk about Larry meeting Piper.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this? This whole I'm just like, I don't know. This Piper Larry Piper.
No, it doesn't work, and we're kind of touching on this earlier too. It's just it doesn't work.
No.
And you kind of see that it's sort of like at different points. Obviously, Larry's missed her this whole time.
Right.
And you get that from earlier episodes and talking to Dad and everything else. But then you also see, Piper goes on her ups and downs too. It's like now that she's kind of in a isolated place right now, prison. Now she's kind of longing for him, and Alex is sort of out of the picture again. And you see her trying to want to be back with him. It's like, oh, it's like home, and you're home. And
is she trying to be back with him?
I feel like she's missing. I feel like she's missing him, and it's comfortable, and she's missing that right now because she's self-isolated.
But I don't think she wants to be with him. I think it's just for the present, it's comforting.
Right,
but she
right now
really
it's comfortable.
Doesn't. I don't think she wants to be with him.
I almost feel like he's turned into
a lost puppy.
Like no, I feel like he's turned into not wanting to be with her, but it's like that. He's just, he's already been painted as this weak character.
Right.
Well, he's not been painted. He's weak. He is weak. Larry's just a weak guy. You got to get a backbone, Larry. But anyway, I think it's part of the rejection and the fact that he's been cheated on with a girl and it's an ex. There's so many dynamics behind him losing Piper. And then ultimately, he knows that she's no good for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though all these other things that have happened, I think that even if she wouldn't have cheated on him with Alex while he was locked up, I think he still would have been harped on with his parents and he has this relationship with Polly, like they're friends or whatever, and we'll talk about that. But they have this relationship as friends as it's been going as friends, but Polly isn't totally like on Piper's team either, just from a moral standpoint, but she is on her team because she's like, well, she's my best friend, so I have to have her back kind of thing. I have to defend her. But it's like Larry comes from like a safe space. He doesn't come from that risky type of back. Like she represents risk. No, Piper, her life changed. Remember, I'm saying
but before then, her life wasn't risky and crazy.
Well, if she was a kid, she was like not about unnecessary risk, and that was like the funny part about when they showed her backstory as a kid,
right?
How it was the complete opposite later,
right?
Because of the dynamics in her family that showed her like we're living a lie,
right?
Kind of thing. So that kind of flipped her to the other side.
What's really interesting is that Piper's life in prison is more interesting, and there's more happening for her than Larry's life outside of prison.
Yeah.
Right, and I think you can see that it's evident with what she says to him. She says, you're the moon. You basically, what is it? You don't have your own light.
Right.
And so and I feel like that's one of those like jabs. Yo, you're not a man. You know what I mean? Like
no,
that's
but
something you never say
right,
to a
because
man.
he uses other people to I guess move forward.
Right.
He did the same thing with her story.
He lives around other people and revolving around other people.
He wrote an article about her and went on, publicly speaking about it on radio and exposing her and everything that she had told him personally in confidence as her fiancé.
Right.
Now he's writing an article on it.
Right, but then
and then now this one, she I think was like
the expose.
Yeah.
But I think he does justice to also point the fault in her because he says you're like the sun. At least people can walk a meat, but they burn up when they get close to you, and that's true.
And it's true.
It's true. Everything everybody.
You get too close to her, and you're gonna get burned.
Honey, that's drama. Stay away from that.
It is true,
Piper.
but wasn't it interesting though to see how it kind of flipped so quickly? Though it was sort of like the thought, both of them after that phone call from the last episode. It was like the thought of them kind of meeting up again. They're both feeling really positive, and she comes in, she's like, "Oh, tomorrow's Florence Henderson's birthday, and we should be getting a Wesson oil and watch, Brady Bunch." And it was just like a fun, cutesy moment. And then, from when they first met to when it just quickly turned, and then all of a sudden it was like, she's calling him the moon, and he's calling her the sun about getting burned, and it was like, whoa. Then all of a sudden the real stuff comes out right away, and you see that they're really just not good for each other.
Right.
But I have a question. Okay.
Well, real quick
it's about this.
Go ahead. Before you go to that question, speaking of getting burned, let's talk about burning fat.
Good segue.
Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness by Maria Menounos, from the best-selling author of The Every Girl's Guide to Life. Okay, so that sounded like a little plug, didn't it? Of course it's a plug. But Maria actually has dropped some tips and some diet tips, some fitness tips. And if you could see her flat tummy here, and then there's a before and after picture of her on here when she was size 14 and where she's at now, she's size 2. Maria does, and I've seen her myself, in a crop top or a bikini or whatever, she has a flat stomach. This girl is like in shape.
Right.
So whatever she's done, it has worked for her, and I'm sure a lot of these tips would work for a number of you. You guys can pick this book up wherever paperbacks are sold, and Amazon and your local bookstore.
Exactly.
So get this, and guys, you guys can get it too. Right. I know if you guys just pretend like you're getting it for your mom or your sister. If you feel uncomfortable getting a pink fitness book for yourself in the bookstore or online, you're good. But you still, you still get it. There's like some good information and good fitness tips. So fitness tips are like across the board. It works for everybody. So Emma, were you gonna say something about this?
No, you covered it all.
Okay.
You get that too. It also supports us here, and that's always a great thing too.
Yes, and it's filled with a bunch of fun-loving pictures as well. So go pick this up ASAP.
And make sure you subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Just search for AfterBuzz TV, Orange is the New Black, and then click subscribe. You get our podcast for free every week.
Right, and rate us and comment and let us know what you're thinking. Yes, definitely 5 stars, and let us know, because I'm loving the comments, aren't you guys? I mean, it's great. Keeps us on our toes, make sure when we mess up or we have more questions on things, they're right there for us to help us answer. So we love hearing from you guys.
I love people's theories about stuff.
Yeah, the theories are great.
Yes.
And if you guys want to check us on the spot while we're here in the studio, you guys can call in 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729 if you guys have any calls. Yes. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions, any theories, whatever you guys want to you guys can call in right now.
You can watch live.
You can watch live
TV.
On AfterBuzzTV.com.
Wherever your phones take you. And
okay.
iPads.
So this is what I had a question about.
What's your question?
What was it?
So then when Larry comes to the prison and Piper, Piper's like coming in there happy, Florence Henderson Day,
which I thought was great, a great like pop culture reference, right?
Right. And then of course she says the Wesson oil. Is that for massaging? I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, the thing I'm serious, because this is gonna be funny too, because there's a Golden Girls reference. Okay, this is how gay I am. There's a Golden Girls reference where they joke about it, and someone says in an ad they're looking for someone that looks like Florence Henderson is into Wesson oil. So I was like, was there something that Florence Henderson had? So there was. I don't know if that was a deeper like Golden Girls reference, or if the Wesson oil came from a
Brady Bunch.
From a Brady Bunch episode.
What do you mean?
Because is that
Florence
from an
Henderson's
episode?
from the Brady Bunch.
No. But the Wesson oil.
Yes. What is that?
Is there a particular episode, or was she like selling? I don't know, because there was a Golden Girls thing.
Well, she used to do the commercials, I think. Florence Henderson used to do the Wesson oil commercials.
She?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I think she did that whole like Wesson oil campaign.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Was she sell Wesson
my
oil?
age.
Right, because I didn't think.
No, I know. Well, me too. I mean, I don't want to go to. But I just remember. I remember the Golden Girls episode where they refer to that, and I was like, are they doing 2 pop culture things at once?
Well, maybe I thought. Okay, so I know she was talking about they would watch. They watch TV, all that kind of stuff. So maybe that makes sense then, the whole Wesson oil. But I was like, hold on, wait a minute. It's Valentine's Day. Like, what y'all doing with Wesson oil? That's cook with that.
Getting all greasy and Wesson oil.
Right.
Getting oiled up.
Right.
I was like, what's going on with that? Okay.
Well, because they probably have it in the kitchen instead of having to use, get baby oil from the commissary. Then you can kind of like
doesn't
save
smell.
money.
It just smells. Is not something you want to oil on
I'm
your
sure
body.
there's a lot of smells that you don't want to get used to while you're in prison.
Oil, like when she said that, I was like, okay. So that's all I had a question about. That's all.
That's what you did because I was going to mention the Golden Girls thing.
Yes,
so
let
it's great
us know
that you brought it back.
What the Wesson oil was about.
Yeah, with Florence Henderson. Was it a Brady Bunch episode, or was it something to do with her Wesson oil's pitch person? Or the Golden Girls reference from that small little snippet?
I'm sure it smells better than shitty showers.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, there you go. Anything would be better than that.
Right.
So, that being said, so this whole Piper and Larry thing, she's going to go and do this investigation. I don't know. I feel like really like weird about it. What do you guys feel about
Well,
this?
she needs... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think she needs leverage to, ask him for favors, so this is something that she has to do.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, did you feel like it was sort of just like pulled out of her ass because she saw Healy? Like the whole thing, I'm going to do a newsletter thing. And that's what it felt like. It just felt like she just kind of came up with it on the spot.
Yeah, she did.
She had to cover her
She had to cover something up for being out there.
Because she had already gone down that path with Larry calling and asking questions last season.
Yeah.
So Healy knows, this is, he's like, are you going to go down that path again? She's like, no, I'm doing a newsletter. You could be editor-in-chief.
I know, I love that. Mr. Editor-in-Chief.
Don't oversell it, Chapman. Because it was like he's already wise to her antics and how she gets down.
But I can't believe he got convinced.
I know.
I actually thought he was going to be against it.
Well, you got to remember, he's already going through his own like self-esteem issues right now with not being helpful to the girls, which is like he's really started
and he doesn't have
being
a
a counselor
friends,
for.
And
he has no friends.
Yeah, and he's feeling like, the girls don't like him.
If you have to have a moment with Tucky at any point, a moment.
Oh, I know. That's where
you're lonely.
You've reached the low.
Bottom.
You're scraping that barrel now.
Yes, you are. I feel bad for him in his whole wife situation. Yeah. That's like really, really sucks. And she's really cruel and mean, I think. In my perception, I just think she's like unfeeling. And she needs to give him love.
No, she doesn't.
The Russian love.
She doesn't have to. That's what he gets for getting a mail order bride.
Right. But I also feel like he's been last season. I don't feel like he was that nice to her.
Does it come in packages? The mother-in-law comes too. Have 50% off. You can take the mother-in-law too.
Yes, but of course, so the issue with the showers, and of course the black girls don't like the fact that V is telling them about the custodial stuff.
Right.
Which I gotta give it to them because I would be the same way. I mean, you're not telling me your master plan, but now I get pulled from the library detail that I like. And I have to go clean up stinky stuff.
And she should, she's counting on Tasty. Obviously, she's using her relationship with Tasty to round the girls up and say, look, just trust her. Right. Blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, she's able to wrangle everybody and have them on board, even though they don't know what the master plan is. Right. Susanna's already under V's thumb.
Oh my gosh!
Like a henchman. Like she's already
so happy.
Right.
Because again, it kind of goes back to think with her feeling like, oh, someone likes me.
Right.
Right.
She's a garden rose.
Healy does. Yeah.
So now she's not crazy. She's a garden rose now.
Why do you have to say it like that, garden rose?
Because that's how she was like. She was like, I'm a garden rose. Like when Piper asked her to go to the movie, she was like, no, I'm a garden rose.
She was so funny, even in this episode too. Just she's telling them, oh, well, long showers are bad for you. They mess with your keratinocytes and whatnot.
Right.
And I was like, she's so cute.
Funny.
It's just funny.
Well,
she's smarter than they give her credit for.
Absolutely.
Yes, the broom scene. Oh gosh, when she's having she's hilarious.
She's little British accent. Right. I love her, and she does the best facial expressions. I mean, my God.
Can I say that she's completely different off camera? I mean, this girl is gorgeous.
Right.
So she,
shout out to her as
transformation.
Uzo Aduba. They actually, matter of fact, we have some news and gossip. So
we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll save for that.
But yeah. So of course, when we see this, the scene in the shower when they're taking their 30-second rinse offs, and
thanks to what's her name?
Fig.
Fig.
Right.
Her brilliant ideas.
Exactly.
God.
And so when
Sitting there all soaked up.
Yeah.
which is hilarious.
That was funny.
But in the sinks.
Right, but this is when I started to go, okay, V's definitely a villain. I mean, of course, last episode I thought she was, but now it's solidifying it for me that V's a villain, because you remember before I didn't know if she was. She's nice. I think when she starts to manipulate and say, you owe me to Tasty, that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, this chick is out for herself for sure.
She's way too manipulative.
She is, and that's part of the reason that I love watching people play that so well, like she did with Gloria last episode. It was so brilliant.
Right.
It's like she goes right in and takes her right there, hook, line, and sinker. Like, she knows how to read people, and I think we've talked about this even earlier. It's like that she's so good at that, and that's what makes you really good.
Yeah.
Using that, and getting your way, and she knows how to do that. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, she totally played.
Watching that in action, though, is great.
Right, it was.
Right.
It's so fun to watch that.
right.
She's like, oh, she wants to be, she'll roll with it this way.
Yeah.
She knows how to roll with people and just.
Except Red.
Yeah.
Except Red.
Because Red knows the deal. Though.
Red knows, Red's not falling for
I
it.
want to
history.
know what this master plan is. When Red walks into the kitchen and she's basically telling Gloria, you got played, and the girls were like, no, they thought Gloria beat her up or something. And then they go, hold on,
Gloria's
what?
that chick. No, she's not.
No, she's, oof.
Right. So, of course, when we see, I guess, the issue of V and Poussey coming, because Poussey's starting to see through V. I feel like
I'm glad she's being smart.
Right. It seems like none of the girls can really. I mean, I guess at this point it's kind of like, okay, we do need a leader. Who else seems to have it together? V seems to have the best
Back
ideas.
in my day, the black women ran this joint.
Right, so it's kind of like, well, I guess we'll let her take the reins. She seems to have a plan. I don't have a plan. But Poussey, to me, is the only one who's strong enough to go, no, I see right through you. You're manipulative. You only use people and you throw them away when you don't need them. And V, to me, it cut me when V was like, Tasty will never love you. Like, she didn't have to say anything else. She didn't have to do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Just the simple fact of her saying that to Poussey.
Right.
And Poussey's like, whatever. Like, I don't even care. And that face that she made when she walked off, I was like, oh, poor Poussey.
I know, because you knew she cut right to what was going to hurt her the most. And again, V knowing how to play people, she knew what was going to get her.
But I think
cut her
she's
bone.
doing her a favor. Poussey needs to stay away from that, because it's trouble coming to that group.
Well, here's the thing. When she, I don't really think that Poussey saw V being evil at first.
I think it was more of a taking her away from.
It was like she's taking Tasty away from me.
There was a little bit of jealousy,
right?
And
it was like, exactly, the whole jealousy, envy thing. And now I don't even have, because even though they don't have a romantic thing, they still had her relationship,
close friendship.
That bond is being broken.
A very close friendship.
Right. So now V is like represents evil because she's taking my friend. Like, even if the relationship and romance doesn't go anywhere, like, she's taking my friend away. And in a manner which is not very cool either. So they transitioned that really well. How they went from the not being a friend to her being just mad at V because she thinks like she's taking my friend away, to her really seeing the evil in her. So it didn't make Poussey look really crazy, like lovesick. Right. It was like validated based on V's debaucherous plots.
That's why, and I think we were talking about this before. If I had to make a prediction, I think Poussey is going to be the one to bring the downfall to V. Right. Because she's going to see through her, and she's smart enough, and she's smart, and she's going to figure out a way to bring her down. But I don't know. I'll have to see. Even more than Red, because I feel like even though Red can't quite see past her own issues and what they had in their past, so I think Poussey is a fresh kind of look at it and one that'll be able to take her down.
I don't think that, it's hard for me to say because I've seen it, but
I know. I was like, you've seen it.
But even when I first saw it, I was thinking that ultimately it has to be Red to be the redemptive one because there's so much history there. Right. Poussey is not she's not old enough, not experienced enough, not savvy enough.
But I feel like she'll play a part.
Yeah, I do.
It will be Red, but I think Poussey will play a part. But
Poussey's smart enough, and she knows, and I think because she has a different perspective, because I feel like Red has that history, and sometimes when you have that, it kind of blocks you from being able to see the perspective better, and because Poussey doesn't have that it gives her a fresh approach on being able to maybe take down V without having the history or any of the past things in there that Red's going to have.
Well, let's talk about Poussey and her backstory, because Poussey has a very interesting backstory, and I like to see how they've broken down what her backstory really is.
Yeah.
Because throughout the show, throughout the series, they've always displayed that she has expressed this intellect of being cultured.
Right.
And now we know why. Because
she's an army brat,
and she's lived overseas, and she speaks a couple of different languages, and you know, just like the whole vagina thing. And she was like, everybody was so convinced about where the holes come from, and they were like, whatever. And she was like, you guys are stupid, you guys don't know. But she was the only one.
Right. Yeah.
She was the only one who like was blowing them off like they all really, you really don't know.
Well,
kind
besides
of thing.
Sophia, but
Well, Sophia doesn't count. Sophia's like the Lone Ranger when it comes to, you know, everybody hanging out. She doesn't hang out with the black girl. She's just the hairdresser. Right. Who's a vaginal expert.
Yes.
The sassy.
But Poussey has always shown that she's a little more savvy than
people give her credit for it.
than everybody else. And it's very interesting to see that she had like this relationship. And she was in Germany, right? Yeah, with her dad on the base, and with a girl with huge knockers.
Oh my God! Yeah, even I was like, whoa.
Okay, we're gonna talk about those knockers. We're gonna talk about that.
Wow,
because they were wild. I mean, even laying on her back, they were still like, pow. You're like, damn. Sorry, guys. They were like,
they were.
See, it wasn't. I'm like, it's good.
I noticed.
I'm glad you guys were entertained.
No,
I was like, wow, that was the thing I noticed. They were very big. They were 2 pillows.
They
I was like,
whoa. I was like, wow.
Was this like the
got herself one.
This is like the guy's favorite episode. This is like, where all you guys are like, this season episode 6 is mine.
Okay, remember the very, very first episode of the season when Tasty comes and she sees Piper and she's like, you got them TV titties.
Right.
Yeah. This girl had TV titties. Whoever this actress is had TV titties.
No, she has memory glands. Those are huge.
Oh, goodness.
Go ahead, girl. Get
right.
into her.
Did we ever get her name, by the way? Because I always kept referring to her as lover, like Poussey's lover on here.
Right,
I didn't actually know what her
Pousse's
name
lover.
was, so we did not get a name, right?
No, not during
okay.
the show.
I
No.
just want to make sure I didn't miss that somehow.
Yes, but it's very heartbreaking to see that she, you know, was in love with someone and had a relationship, and how it all went down was just like really
awful.
like it was really tragic. I felt bad for her. It just really sucked. And then how she was going about handling the situation, it was like real gangster.
She really was gonna
and I
kill
was
that dude.
Yeah, she was gonna blast. She was gonna blow his brains out.
I thought she was like gonna get arrested. I was like, whew,
I did
thank
too.
I thought that was the reason why
I
she
did
was
too.
in prison. I was like, oh, she's
But I'm
ready
sure
to
it
kill
has
this
something
dude.
to do with it.
Something with her temper there. But it was like, God, just the way he was talking, you know, to her, and then talking to her dad when he came there, luckily to like rescue her at the last second there. Like, I was thinking, God, he's such a jerk, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the dad was awful.
For just sitting there.
But wait a minute. Any father seeing his daughter getting done in is not going to be a happy camper. Let's just be real. So, I mean, I think it just made it worse because also she is also, his daughter is in a lesbian relationship. So, not only do you see your daughter in this position, and you see her knockers out, you also see her and she's in a lesbian relationship. And so, if he
with a black woman, who knows? He might have been one of those.
I don't know. Like,
right, and we have to assume this when the time period was, you know, a little bit earlier here, and so there could have been a lot of issues there that you know,
in a lesbian relationship with
okay.
a black woman. There's just too many.
Germany,
it's just too much going on for the dad. He was like, oh no, this has got to
I get
end.
it. He just came across as such a jerk.
Yeah, he really did. But I do like how when the dad stopped her, how he stood up for her and was like,
I really like that. I agree.
Because if it was a different kind of situation, I think he would have knocked his ass out. You know, but he obviously can't really do anything. And, you know, he has the nerve to say, I think there's programs like
but
like, what?
But I was so glad that he was supportive because you're thinking, okay, look at her dad being supportive. Like, no, she's okay, thank you. That was awesome.
Right. She's fine. Yeah. He was like,
and the girlfriend is just sitting there, not doing anything.
What did you want her to do?
Yeah, she can't do anything.
She couldn't really stand up. I know that's what I'm saying. She couldn't really stand up for him, but it was annoying to just kind of watch her just sitting there like the wallflower.
But she had like a kind of like a smirk on her face. She wasn't even sad. She was just like, oh, okay, well, it happened. You know?
No,
Well, you gotta remember, she already
I-
broke up with her at that point,
Yeah,
right?
I think she was sad, but
had,
she
like,
couldn't really do anything.
Right. It was like, I think she was also sad that, Poussey flipped the switch and was like, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she turned it off so quick. And so I feel like her girlfriend was hurt.
She went through the whole broken down period
Right.
already when that happened.
Yeah, and she's like pretending like she didn't care, and now the girlfriend's doing it. But I still think the girlfriend did, but like you were saying, she couldn't really do anything because her dad's right there, and obviously her dad's very controlling.
And he's like a lieutenant or something.
Yeah, so
on
she couldn't do
a
anything.
base, on a military base. Like, what are you going to do?
Right. So she's kind of stuck.
Yeah. And military rules are not the same.
No, they are not.
As civilian rules. So obviously that was just like a no-win situation for both of them.
Yeah.
Poussey, it leads me to believe, we didn't get to why she's locked up. Mm-hmm. And I really want to know why she's locked up. But based on how she's carried herself since season 1, the things she said and done, and how she carries herself, even when she was in support of Tacy, when Tacy got out the first time,
Right.
And the job fair, she's always been in support of her.
Mm-hmm.
But in the manner in which she has been, she has a level of class about her in culture, and you would think that she might have gone to jail for something very righteous, like Miss Claudette, how Miss Claudette went to jail for doing something righteous. That's what I kind of think happened with Poussey.
I don't know. I know. And remember, was there something from season 1 with her? I'm trying to remember, like something with her running away, and then she got caught. Yeah, didn't she get? Wasn't that her that got caught? Like she was running, and then she got caught for something.
No, that was the runner.
Who was that?
With the blonde hair, the blonde chick with the braids. What's her name?
No. You're talking about the with
They
the
did like a
drugs?
little, yeah, they did a
When
little
they did
backstory from season 1. And
the store where she was carrying the drugs for her friend.
Yeah, wasn't it?
No, that was the runner.
That was okay.
Oh
okay.
yeah, Watson.
Oh, Watson. That's
Yeah,
it. Okay, see, I'm getting confused.
You
Yeah.
get black people always
No,
say
no,
what you're
because
trying to say.
no, because I really did, because I thought Poussey, because I thought she was the one that was running too. So
No.
she's not okay. So
No, that's the other black girl.
okay.
With other black chick. I'm just
God,
I know.
it's funny.
No, but I was because that's what I
Watson.
was thinking. Okay, so it was Watson.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was the one that was breaking the high school
we
record
haven't
and all that
gotten
kind
a
of stuff.
backstory.
That's what I was
on Poussey
okay,
yet,
because that's what I was
so-
thinking. Like they didn't really explain. I thought well, maybe it was something to do with that when she got back, and she was very upset when she got, because she does make that comment about, oh, I'm going back to Jersey, and I was thinking, oh, she got back there and she was feeling low, and then she ended up getting into some side thing like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But the one thing that I liked was how fluently Poussey speaks German, which leads me to believe, does she speak German in real life? And did they write that for her character after they found
Realized
out
that
she could speak German so well? Did they go, you know what? Hold on, wait a minute. We're going to put your German to use. Wait a minute. This is a story. So did it happen that way, or was it the flip-flop? Like, okay, we have to find an actress that speaks German that can pull this off. I wonder how that
I think it
happened.
might have been.
I think they just find the actress they want. They feel like could play the role, and then
They write a
if
story.
they
Use
find out if she could speak it,
attributes.
she either if she could speak another language, then they're
Right.
like, okay, we'll just make it based in Germany.
Right.
Or,
Well, that's
or
true.
if she was fluent in French, they might have just made it based in
Right.
France or
Right.
something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
interesting. Or was it just they thought she was able to handle it and they gave her a couple lines?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Or maybe she doesn't know German at all.
Right,
She
and it was
literally
like they
just
gave
has
her a
to learn
couple
those
lines.
She's just a bomb actress.
I feel
She
like
did.
the way the intonation, and
Yeah.
I just feel like she knows
It did.
German
It felt
for
very.
sure.
It did feel very real, and it felt like
Yes.
she really knew what she was saying and how
But
to pronounce it and how to do it.
also as an actress, when you're reading the lines, and then if you get a coach for a second and learn what is being said, it's if you know what you're saying, I think it's easier maybe to use the inflections that you're supposed to be, as long as you have the accent down. It probably you can pull it off.
I'm gonna say
but she was on point with it.
She was.
though.
It's like either I have to look it up on like IMDb
I believe
or
she's
whatever and
Juilliard
see if she's
trained,
fluent.
so-
Oh,
Yes.
is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's the real
Tasty
deal.
Is, and I believe Poussey is as well. I think those are the two. There are
Really?
two that are
I
Juilliard.
gotta look her up though because I am curious now. Like, does she know fluent German? You know, because I'll say that like
Right.
knows fluent German, knows because that is a good thing. And I didn't even think about that afterwards. I just thought, oh, this is great. She's speaking German, and it's like very
Right.
cool, and I love her whole backstory.
And so then, of course, the black girls find out why they are all on custodial duty.
That
Tobacco in a cleanser.
I just can't believe they're able to be manipulated so easily. It just
Right.
They're
amazes
just
me.
they're just doing their time. They're just getting by.
Right. I think they're young
Cleaning
girls too,
dirty.
They are young.
And they kind of look up to V in that sense.
Right.
And I think whenever there's a leader, you know, there always ends up being these cliques, and you're going to end up having a leader. There's someone that's going to fill that void. In this case, it's V. So she comes in, and people want to be led, and there are certain leaders.
And V is active. They weren't active. They're just living.
Doing their thing.
You know, being active and they're getting in trouble more. That's not, you know, the side you want to be on. Like Watson, you know, she's like, how do I get my food, like, you know, have salt in my food? I didn't even do anything.
Right.
But, you know, it's by association. So
yeah,
it's sad.
Right.
And,
What's sad
you
is
know,
the fact
when
she asked that
triggers-
question, not knowing that she's black and what was gonna get her was gonna get messed up too. She hangs out with them on a daily basis. Like, really?
Go hang with the Golden Girls. They don't have
I didn't even do anything, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Go hang with the Golden Girls.
But then it triggers her to act out, and she gets her, you know,
Right. Okay, so
ass
question
handed to the ground.
How does the okay. How does V have the connection to get the tobacco in the cleanser, in the boxes?
Yeah.
Like, she knows the vendor? Like,
I know. I've been wanting to know that
Have they had
too.
the same vendor that they've had since the 80s when she was in prison?
Right.
Before?
I mean,
Well, remember, they don't really change vendors. That's one of the things
That's
that
right. It's a good point.
And
They
they
did
have
say
a list
that.
of vendors that they
Approved
specifically
vendors.
approved that they work with.
Yeah.
And bringing in the plumber or whatever
That's
he
true.
was.
And once
it
you
was
start
a big
switching,
deal.
once you start changing vendors more, when you have an institution like that, it raises more questions and has people paying attention more.
Yeah.
When you're used to the same normal
the approved.
rigmarole, they're approved, blah blah blah. It's way easier to doctor this, doctor that,
Right.
and to.
But again,
smuggle.
it's like she knows how to work it because
Right.
again, it was like all in there. It was packaged in the
was
boxes,
packaged. Like it came
in
from the manufacturer like
cleansers,
that.
right? And so I was like, she has got it down. That she's got it going on from in there, like making sure it's working with the.
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And
It was
they
like
got
a-
the cigs.
It was
So
like
people-
like it was packaged from Philip Morris himself.
Yeah.
so cigarettes are like a big deal in prison?
That's what I was like. Are they still a big deal now? I mean, I don't know now. Like it just
yeah,
seems
I
like
mean,
now, even today, they'd still be a
Yeah,
big deal.
because people smoke, and it's a good. It's considered a
I don't know, I feel
monetary
like,
good.
Like, wouldn't I feel like I'd rather have Pop-Tarts or something?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I'd rather have like something else.
Pop-Tarts.
Right. Seriously, like smuggling some good stuff,
But
like
you're not a
cigarettes. I'm like,
smoker, so you know, I
right,
guess
but you
here's
feel
the
like the
other- but I
smoking
feel
has
like-
gone down, like,
But yeah, like,
even
but-
for everybody, like from across the board. So
But even if you're in
Now it's
prison,
portable
you don't
hookahs.
get to you don't get to smoke as much. So it's like your addiction is not being fed. So doesn't your addiction kind of like wane off?
Yeah.
Like because you've basically had to quit cold turkey,
Yeah.
right? So then I don't know. I just thought I thought it was gonna be something so different. Like they got these great products. Something's
well,
amazing.
you never know what she's gonna do with it, what she's gonna mix it with. So.
yeah,
She might mix it with the road cleanser.
They gonna lace the hooch
Yeah.
with toilet water.
Something.
because I was just thinking the same thing as you. I was like, I don't really get like this is such a big appeal here. Like all this tobacco. Like all right.
But then, of course, and then I see that, okay, well, then again, maybe it will also, because we see that the guard, what's her name? It's really something real ghetto. Uliqua.
Are you talking about
Aliqua.
you talking about the black guard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uniqua?
No, that's from Backyardigans. It's something like Aliqua. Something like that.
It's so
Anyway,
bad I don't remember her name right now. But
Anyway, but you see
Something
what she
with a claw
says.
on the end.
Right. She can't smoke. She's like, now we're, as guards, we're in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't smoke. So I feel like the guards will even pay for the cigarettes. So maybe it is a smart thing
because they're
that
so
V's
strict
bringing
for
it
the
in.
guards now for
Right.
everything. They have to go through security and everything. I was like, wow.
Like that. What episode was that when they told Loose Check? They were like, you should be in prison.
like,
He was down there repairing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He says, I am every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, it is. Like,
Yeah.
if you got to wake up every day and go there.
Right.
You go there and then go in and basically be like a prisoner yourself, going in through the security
Yeah.
or in there. It was
Isn't
crazy.
I mean, of course you don't want to be locked
Well-
up, but then you get a taste of reality, and then you're like, "This is my job."
I have
you go there.
I
Go
have
ahead.
a feeling Bennett is going to be joining his, future baby bomb mama and girlfriend with all these requests that he's taking from people.
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
like, he needs
yeah.
to go to his, girlfriend and tell her, you need to keep your
Yeah.
people under
People,
control.
right.
Yeah,
but
you're
I think
right.
he feels so guilty because, of course, this is what has happened. This girl
Yeah.
that he loves and has fallen in love with is pregnant with his first child, and she's having to deal with being, it's tough enough being pregnant, but now you're in prison and you're pregnant. You don't get the vitamins.
Right.
You don't get
You're
the
not
treatment.
going to
You
the
don't
treatment. You're not going to the doctors,
you don't,
obviously.
Yeah, you don't get to
do get
feed
back
your
to spinach.
cravings. Right. But you don't get your cravings fed.
But I thought he was gonna get caught when he was going through the
I know, that was good.
metal detector. I'm like, crap. You know,
but I think that's foreshadowing. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna get caught.
That's
agree.
what I'm
Doing
saying. I feel
for
like
sure.
they're gonna catch him or something with
Find the pills in the peg leg.
like coming back, or something is gonna happen where he's gonna get revealed, and it's gonna be before she tells people
everybody
that
she's pregnant. And before, you're right. I think that he's definitely going to get caught before, and then everything's going to fall from there because it's going to be before she says anything, before they even realize that she's, and their whole master plan is not going to work.
Or there was some foreshadowing with the Valentine's Day card that she got.
Yes.
So after he finished stroking it on his peg leg, standing
This
up.
is a very sexy episode. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean it's Valentine's Day.
It was though. Yeah,
That was the
between
only
Say with her backstory and then with him, I was like, oh, everybody's
Everybody's getting it cracking.
Yeah.
And they had no fear. Lights were on.
Yeah.
They're just like,
because if you think about it, everybody's at the party, the COs are half of them are gone at watching Side Boob, the band, Caputo's band.
Right.
So they're he's like whatever, who cares? And then there's no fear because before it's like mystery.
I thought they were gonna get caught.
I did too because they were so
too.
out in the open, and that's another thing. Like maybe that'll even happen.
They're
Maybe
getting
before
comfortable.
before he even gets caught for anything that he's smuggling in. Maybe because they're gonna get too comfortable.
Yeah,
she's like, come on, like I'm like, ugh.
I know.
Like dang, like you don't get him busted. I wish they would have made. You guys should have made him fall off the leg while he was standing up.
No.
Why are you trying to make fun of the handicap dude?
I'm not making fun. I'm being creative writer. That's
you're
writing.
trying to make fun of the handicap.
Nobody wants to see that though. That would be terrible.
That's not sexy.
Nobody wants to see
You
that.
didn't have him fall off the screen like dum-dum.
No, nobody wants to see that.
That's not wrong. That's not wrong.
back to the topic. I feel like
topic at hand
Bennett. This episode was really key for Bennett because of him pinning down Watson to the ground for his girlfriend, and then publicly trying to make sure she's okay.
Right.
It was just like overdoing it, not being careful with having sex in the room with the lights on and making noises. Cutting through the metal detector, all the girls going to him to ask for a shuffle iPod,
the phone, the camera,
and Diablo knows about it too.
Yeah.
That was crazy. How she's talking now.
Right? Like she's a normal person now.
Yeah.
She's scary.
She is very She's a unibrow. I wonder if it's a
she
real
does.
unibrow. No, probably not, right? They probably drew it in.
Probably.
But either way, I do think that he's probably going to get caught. It's just, too many people know. That everything's just starting to get reckless.
And he's getting too comfortable. They're getting too
Or
comfortable.
Piper's gonna expose him.
I don't know if that's going to, I don't know.
That's
Maybe.
good. That's true, yeah.
Well, it's the whole,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But then
Stop
here's the other
ruining
thing.
my predictions.
And then of
it's a
course,
good one.
with it was really cute. I do like Diet and Bennett together. I'm not gonna lie. I do think they make
I
a
do
cute
too.
couple. And
So cute.
she
You don't
says
like porn
something.
stash? No, kidding.
But I do think that it's I think she says something that's very true, which is, how they play the normal game, like, what would we be doing on Valentine's Day? And she's like, let's just be real, like, this would never happen in real life. Like, when I get out of here, like, this is not the real deal. And I kind of feel like she's telling the truth a little bit. I feel like, maybe it wouldn't work, especially once she does her time and she gets out.
Right.
Do you think it would work? I don't know.
Well, it's sort of like what I think, and it's totally different comparison, but it's sort of like when people meet on like a film set or a movie set and they're working closely together every single day in a city far away from home. And then they come back home again and like, okay, totally different lives. This doesn't work, kind of thing. That's what it made me think of with this relationship too. When they said that, it's like, okay, you're working really closely in a situation that's not really reality,
Right.
And then when you have to get out in the reality, it would be totally different. And
I don't think she would be able to handle him. I mean, look at Healy's life, and
You don't think she'll be able to handle him? I don't think he'll be able to handle her.
No,
Right.
No. In the sense because he's never going to be home. He's working, and they work long hours and long shifts, and sometimes I don't know if they have.
She's gonna be like, "You banging another inmate? You banging another?"
Yeah, exactly. You'd be so
Right,
jealous,
right.
like you see the inmate
But look
there.
at Healy's wife. One of the complaints she has is that he keeps on changing schedules. He makes promises to take her to places, and he never does. So having that. If they might experience the same thing, she's not going to stick around to find out. She wants someone who's going to take care of her. But not being home, I don't know, maybe she will live off of his 401k.
And then she has another issue with porn stash. He, of course, the whole issue of them saying that the baby was his, pinning that on him and him and his Valentine's Day.
Right.
You know, but I thought it was really funny because I thought that Bennett sent her that card too. I was like, oh, how cute he sent her a card in the
I fell for it too.
Cute. Oh, that's not from him. Oh, my bad. You know, so yeah.
What is that? You know who it is, or something like you know who, or what is that?
Right, you know who.
You know who.
You know who, or something
You
like
know
that.
who.
Yeah.
Me.
Valentine's.
I really feel bad for Caputo though, because Caputo is really pushing to make this Fisher thing happen, and
Well, he's actually acting normal.
I know, that's what I was thinking
Right,
too. It was
he's
like,
cool.
whoa, like not even normal, but like sensitive and like, oh, I'm caring about the women, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, wait a minute, like we've been having this whole other thing with the writers for the first season plus
Right.
several episodes in the second, and now all of a sudden he's like this guy that cares and like sensitive, and it was so weird. I'm like, whoa, now I'm actually starting to feel for the guy. I'm like, oh, he's not the pervy, nasty.
And he has a
Gross
different,
guy.
I thought he was
All
always.
in leather.
I thought he was always kind of normal.
I always thought he was just kind of gross.
I think he was normal, and he acts the way he acts because of the environment he's in at work. But then I always thought he had he was a normal guy.
But he never came across that like that having that caring
Right.
side or anything until this episode. Really, these
Or the last one.
last
Right.
episode 5 and
Right,
6.
right.
I mean, that's the first time we were really like, wow, he has this like softer side, and he cares about him, and
And you
know,
see he's
him with
normal.
Fig, and you see like, okay, he's really trying to make a difference where she doesn't
Well,
care.
he's rubbing off on Healy, so.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you guys think that him and Fisher make a good couple?
Oh no.
No.
Why?
Oh.
Why?
I think it goes back to what I was saying in episode 5. I just find her still very. She's just awkward. She's still finding herself, her
She's
self-esteem.
juvenile to me.
Yeah, she is. She just doesn't feel like she's.
I can't even believe she got this job.
I probably should end up.
Porn stash had this job. Don't say that because it seems like
Yeah,
the criteria
yeah,
is
that's
not
pretty
too
well.
high.
That's true.
Well, she speaks Spanish. Remember?
Espanol.
Oh my Espanol.
Es muy bueno. What
Oh
did
my
she
god!
say?
And wasn't that
Muy
hilarious?
bueno.
We went out with the 90s era, early 90s computer. I was like, yeah, they really aren't getting any money in there. She's like using the computer with the green screen
MS
and the
DOS.
detachable speakers. I was like, whoa, it's from 1990 here. Like,
I'm sure
God.
everybody felt bad for him though when she shows up.
Oh,
And then-
yeah.
That's so trifling.
And
Look,
then
if somebody
it was
invites you
like-
somewhere, don't invite everybody else.
No, but
That's
here's the thing
trifling.
though. Hold on, wait. I gotta defend her on this because he should have got the clue when she's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and if she's obviously clueless, she
Yeah.
wasn't like how how girls that are savvy. Oh, he's
Yeah.
trying to invite me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I'm gonna make him
because he's my boss. I don't want to.
Yeah,
so what
or I'm going to make them feel
invite-
jealous because I'm going to invite all these other people.
Right. She's like,
No.
oh yeah, I thought I invite everybody along to come along. And
Well, because she wasn't thinking
she's
the
clueless.
way he was. Exactly.
So obviously, if he is trying to put that signal out there and she's not responding to it, she doesn't see you like that, bro.
No,
She
no.
doesn't see you like that. So
I
just
think
let it
she'll
go.
end
But she
up
see
with
this check.
Nikki before
Right.
she ends up with him.
Really?
She was like,
Do
oh,
you?
yeah, it's like a
I
double
do
date.
believe that too. I
See,
do
you
believe-
said that too in the last episode.
You think,
I
wait,
didn't
what?
feel that she would end up with Nikki before she ends up with
Fisher.
Caputo.
Yeah.
Fisher would. And I just didn't think. I think Nikki was too bold for her, and it freaked her out. And
But I
just,
think
again,
she
she's
needs
still.
time to marinate.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
telling
good.
you,
That's good. Oh,
It's
no.
gonna happen, and she's gonna
She
come in
wants
with
to know
a
where the
whole
cameras are.
different swag. Because think about it, just the conversation that Nikki has with her about like talking about, oh, you're standing here listening to the inmates, and she's like, I really try not to listen, and then she finds out, yeah, you really do listen to these people, and then now after that. Fisher decides she wants to tell Caputo, hey, I would like to listen in on their conversations to monitor them. So it seems like, so I feel like Nikki has like put a seed in her mind. So even I think with the whole let's hook up, that's a seed. All it needs is that water to grow.
Well,
Unless Loose Check can get in there.
She's very high school to me. Like I don't feel like she's a guard. I feel like she's a hall monitor.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right,
exactly what I feel. I
That's
feel
how
like she's
she's-
still like awkward. She doesn't have that. She doesn't even know what she wants. She doesn't.
Right.
She's just not there yet.
Right.
Which is exactly why Nikki can manipulate her.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah, Nikki was
It's gonna
so
work.
bold.
like so.
Right. And how funny was it that So just talks about, she's talking about Ferris Bueller.
Oh, the whole theory with Ferris Bueller's thing. Oh my god, that was so hilarious.
It's a theory that I read that he's not really real.
And it was all
then Nun is
dream and-
like, STFU.
Right.
If the nun
thought
tells
Sophia
you,
was
Yeah,
gonna
then you've
say
gone too
shut
far.
up.
You talk too much. The nun can't even do it.
I really want to see what they're going to do with her character because she's getting really annoying at this point.
She
I need
is.
something to do. I need
Yeah,
her
we
to do
need
something
something
interesting.
Agree. Yeah, she's so annoying. Ugh. I
But
know.
we also see another new character I haven't seen before, the one Poussey was talking to.
Oh, the girl
I don't think
Valentine's Day party.
Yeah. Is she new?
Well, she snapped on Tasty.
I don't think she's just an extra. I don't think she has a real.
Yeah, I don't think it was real.
There's another lady in the prison.
That was just to accentuate her situation with Tasty.
Story.
I love the party, by the way. The Valentine's Day party to me was. I like how they kept playing like songs for everybody.
Yeah, it was all inclusive here. Let's have different songs. I also loved when God, what's her name? The friend
Leanne.
of when Leanne
standing up to Tucky.
Yes, as you're lording over this group like some Hillary Clinton dictator.
Democracy.
She's like, if the pantsuit fits. It was so hilarious. And she stood up for her.
I thought like they were gonna come back with the whole mistress lover Bill Clinton.
That was so good. And then when you see her face afterwards, and she's like has that like newfound confidence. It was so awesome. That was hilarious.
Right. And I'm sitting here like, oh Lord, what does the world come to when Leanne is the leader?
Yeah, exactly.
Of the trailer trash girl.
But are they doing it on purpose?
She's a little more balanced though. Leanne's a little more balanced than Tucky.
But still,
crazy.
She's not the brightest though.
Okay.
No, she's not.
She's not
But
bright.
Tucky definitely is not either.
No, of course not. And after everything she's done too, she doesn't have any brain cells left.
But Pennsatucky has a leadership quality about her that Leanne doesn't have. Leanne, you can see she's just like, go get me some punch. Like she's not a true leader.
No.
But she's getting there, I think. This is part of the progress. She's learning, she's picking up these leadership qualities by standing up. That she's taking the steps now.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think the outcasts are going to form a group, including Piper and Tucky and Poussey soon.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool, actually.
That would
Red.
be. Yeah.
Okay, three quick things before we start to wrap up. Do Morello and Suzanne, does anything take place?
Yes, I thought they were going to kiss.
Yes, that was so good, and I love the fact when Morello at the end.
Smell your hair.
When she says,
just like Suzanne does.
But when Morello's
like.
When Morello's like, is this crazy? And I was like, oh yeah, you are crazy. When she said that I still want this, whole...
They're both crazy.
Like they had that moment, and I thought that was really cool. It's like, oh, the two crazy people having a moment.
Right,
and then Morello says, is it crazy? And I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, we need crazy Suzanne to get distracted from V, so...
Yeah. But it was just, that was very interesting. Cracked me up.
Maritza and Flocka. Is it going to reoccur again?
No, I don't think so. I think it really was one of those, they're like, I think they were in the moment just like everybody else was. And the Valentine's Day.
Got all over.
Like love is in the air. And so, of course, they're reminiscing. They're missing home, missing their guys, whatever. So they have a moment. Then they're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing?
Exactly.
This is stupid.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think that
I agree. It was just that moment.
Right.
Okay. Larry and Polly.
Yeah.
Is he trifling for this?
Absolutely.
No.
But we knew it was coming. We knew
we knew. There was, because there was that whole build-up and that whole time.
Yeah, but is he still trifling for it?
Yes. Of course.
Yes.
Emma says no.
Yes.
Why no, Emma?
I think it was in the moment. I think he's still going to be after...
So that makes him not trifling.
No, it was in the moment.
I think it was premeditated.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It was in the moment, but he definitely is. And again, you see the separation from him with Piper when they meet up earlier in the episode. So yeah, no, he's definitely.
Yeah, but when he goes home, as he says, he goes home to her clothes, to her Sephora packages,
well, he's gotta
and
get
all the other things. So she's
out.
Constantly with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, Polly would remind him with her too in a weird way.
Her husband's back. That's like
I know.
I think it was definitely the moment for her.
know.
But for him, I think it was premeditated. He's thought about it. You've seen his reactions to everything, the boobs being out, and how he's responding to everything that he's been doing with her has been like, oh my gosh, this is like a relationship. When she's just been like, oh my God, I have somebody here with me to help me out kind of thing. So for her, I think it was more of a surprise. For him, I think it's something that's been marinating.
Well, I don't know. I think something else is going to happen. I think it's just not.
No,
here's the other thing we have to talk about,
We do.
We have to talk about Red and the tunnel.
Yeah,
oh my
God.
Find out.
Let's talk
what's
about
up
it. Yeah, we'll talk about more.
We got that, and also the old lady that gets out. And
Jimmy.
Going up for Jimmy, and just thinking like, that goes to say that we need better health care for sometimes. That brings up a good point. It's like,
okay, we got to talk about Red first, though. Let's talk about Red.
Okay, you got 2 seconds.
No, we got some time. So no, the fact
we have the
that,
hook, the music coming on like you do when it's time to go.
Right. Okay, so I didn't realize that because last episode we were talking about how we didn't really know what Red was going to do with this tunnel. Was she trying to leave and escape? But then we see that it's not her trying to escape.
She's using those goods to build leverage back.
Right.
With
Yes, against V. Yep.
But is that smart though?
No, but she's got to do what she's got to do. This is the best way she feels that she can do it.
Her universe is in prison, so she has to do what she's got to do.
She's got to do what she's got to do, and this is the way she's got to do it.
Against V.
She knows what she's up
better than the
against.
cooks in the kitchen to give her a position?
Right. She knows this is her way back up in the hierarchy here, so she's got to do what she's got to do.
But I feel like, look, I'm sorry, if you're building a tunnel out, like in the Shawshank Redemption, baby, I'm out.
I know. That's what I'm saying too.
I'm like, look, I'm gonna go to the bar tonight. I'll be back.
See, that's what I do. It'd be like the Morella thing with driving out the car. It's like I'll go out to the bar for a little. I'll come back before anyone knows I'm gone. I agree.
Well, they do checks like.
I know, random checks.
Okay, so where can we find you guys till next time?
No, hold on. We have to talk about Jimmy getting out.
Yes.
Jimmy got out. Yeah, we mentioned it.
Okay, but I'm saying
we need to discuss better health care. Like, what do you do for people that get to that point when they get sick?
I have a feeling that it's gonna come up again next year.
I hope so.
So because
we do need to talk about that.
It will be included in Piper's column.
We'll talk about it next week.
Newsletter.
We'll talk about it next week. It's gonna come up some more.
Okay.
All right, good. If you say so.
It will. It'll come up some more.
We do have some news and gossip.
We do have news and gossip. Yeah, shout out. So news and gossip. Oh, we have our music is just
different music all over the place.
Okay, so the shout out to everyone in Orange Is the New Black. They won 3 choice. They got nominated for the Choice Awards.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Best comedy.
Yes, Uzo Aduba got, which is crazy eyes, got nominated, I think, for Best Supporting Actress, if I'm not mistaken, or for one of the roles. And so I will give that to her because I'm so proud of her. And for them to get 3 awards for the Choice Awards, I'm so proud. You guys are doing it.
Yeah, it's legit.
Yes,
it makes it legitimate here. You know, there's always the thing. Oh, it's Netflix. You know, it's not real TV and stuff, so it makes it legitimate.
Netflix is not real TV.
Yeah, that's part of the thing that has been an issue with House of Cards, all that other stuff.
Netflix, you know, because it is a big deal now.
Yeah,
everyone's watching Netflix and not.
It's legitimate.
Right.
Yeah. Legitimizes
awesome.
it.
Congratulations, guys.
Awesome job.
We're proud of you.
We definitely are.
Comedic series.
I want to give a quick shout out to one of our fans who's been tweeting us on Twitter, Dane at Dane Isherwood. He loves our show, and thank you for correcting us and watching us.
Thanks,
Dan.
We need that.
It was
sure
actually Crazy Eyes' grandparents and not her actual parents. So thank you for watching us, and keep on giving us your theories.
Awesome, man. We're out. Okay, where can we find you guys till next time?
As always, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream.
Yeah, and tweet me at SMan80, that's SMan80, and I'm here for Divine's after shows on Thursday nights and True Blood final season starting this Sunday.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at RealMK.
And you can find me at Club Thaddeus, Twitter, Instagram, and GQJedi.com. And you can find me here Mondays at 7 o'clock for Power on Stars. Until next time, After Buzzers.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.